Well, hello there, everybody. We are a man down this week, so we're going to try our damnedest to keep this fucking thing on the tracks.
Without our parole officer?
Yeah, without the adult in the fucking room.
Speaking of parole officers, there goes mine.
Anyway, let's start this thing off right in honor of Ro, who's not here. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whenever the fuck you're watching this. This is the Backyard Blitz. I'm Gary, and with me I've got Big Stove. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, bud. Doing good.
It's only been about 24 hours since we talked.
About so. Good episode last night on Tailgate Trash Talk, and now we are here on Backyard Blitz, and a friendly face that we haven't seen in about 3 weeks.
Andy, Flint Mode, how you doing, buddy?
You know, like Paul Pierce after he shit his pants in the playoffs. I have come back out of the tunnel.
In a wheelchair? On the way out?
I mean, I may have left in one. I
back.
jogged back down the tunnel. Like the prodigal son has returned.
Yeah. Went back, pinched off the rest of that loaf, and now you're good.
I'm going back.
Yeah, buddy. To the Blitz. All right, well let's get started. We got a couple of comments. Dad, good to see you.
Good to see you. Yeah,
we're all
glad
to
well.
see.
Hey,
we're all
Dad.
glad to see Andy made it too. Corey, yes.
Am I already catching shit?
Nah. Raul and Corey were going at it a little bit last night, so it was fun.
Oh yeah,
they were going back and forth in the comments. It was good talk.
Corey won that little battle.
Yeah. Well, the last battle I saw him get in with Microwave, he
got schooled. Anyway, let's jump into it. Let's talk Week 5. We'll start off with the Thursday game. We had Rams Seahawks. I think the big takeaway from this, I don't know that, that it was a huge surprise that the Rams won. I think we had maybe one last week to pick the Seahawks. Was it me?
I feel like somebody did too.
No, I think it was me.
Yeah, I thought we had one, but I think it's a nip tuck. It's a division rival, but I think the big news out of this game is Russ goes down, right? The fucking hammer finger, they call it. That thing was nasty, bro.
It was nasty looking.
Andy, what do you think, man? Can the Seahawks weather that storm?
Well,
is Geno the answer?
No, they have Geno Smith, and I see people trying to be, like fans of the Seahawks, the 12 or whatever, trying to be like optimistic. But I mean, let's be realistic, and we've seen this movie before, right? And it may have been in a weird place because obviously we've seen Sam Darnold since. But how ready is Geno Smith? Maybe culture is going to be a big thing there, but that team's already struggled in other aspects, and we've often seen, Russ Wilson be the
Superman,
the only shiny piece to that, whole team the last couple of years, really. I mean, besides the receiving core. So yeah, I'm thinking no. Yeah. It's going to be tough, man.
About
and my fantasy team too misses you.
I know.
Yeah,
Any
exactly.
Right now, man.
You and I are right there in the same boat, bud.
You think they can weather the storm, though, Stowe?
No, I really don't think so. I mean, when was the last time Geno Smith, really played an NFL game? I'm right there with Andy. I mean, Russell Wilson's been the key figure of Seattle for the past 2 years. I mean, the Legion of Boom's been gone for probably 4 or 5 years. And really the only shining pieces on that team are Russ and then Metcalf and
Lockett.
Lockett. One key member on the defensive side over there. But yeah, they're going to go downhill from here. And right now their playoff hopes are already dashed.
Yeah, I mean they're in the maybe the toughest division in football. You probably could argue maybe the AFC West, but we see the Raiders are sort of down. The Broncos have kind of come back to earth. So probably NFC West is the toughest division, but it's tough to lose a quarterback, right? Like it doesn't matter who that starting quarterback is. You can't necessarily just recover from that. We've seen guys in the past come in and there's exceptions, but like you're losing your starting quarterback. You're a third of the way through the season almost. And it's fucking Russell Wilson, right? It's like you're not losing the average Joe starting, like you're not losing fucking Jacoby Brissett or Tua Tagovailoa down there in fucking Miami, right? You're losing Russell Wilson. So I'm with you guys, man. That's going to be tough to overcome. And honestly, if I'm Russ, maybe this is the moment where Seattle realizes like they need to start putting stuff around me. Maybe not.
Geno's thrown 9 NFL passes
in like
the
the
regular
last
season
4 years.
In the last 2 years.
2 years. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, excluding last week.
Right. So yeah, man, he's not ready. Falcons Jets, a little bit of a snoozer over in London. I think it was Andy that posted the meme this week that the Queen's not happy because they go from that game to now they've got Dolphins fucking Jaguars. Not a lot there. Kyle Pitts, though, had a breakout. I think that's probably the only observation from this game. You guys got any thoughts on the game? I think Pitts is probably the big takeaway.
No, Pitts is nothing. Yeah.
Goodell better watch his back. I mean, we all saw what happened to Princess Di. So,
yeah.
Across the crown.
Don't tell your driver to speed up. Packers Bengals, though, baby. This was a barn burner for a lot of different reasons. Joey B and Tiger King and Aaron Rodgers going back and forth a bit, and then late it got really fucking weird. Neither kicker wanted to make a kick. They missed 5, I think, or maybe 6.
Five kicks, I think, including extra points.
Right? Like, yeah. Oh my God, just insane. Nobody wanted to win the damn game, and then the Bengals get close and kicker fucking yanks it, and you go down and you're thinking Crosby's gonna blow another one because he's already blown fucking 3. But he ends up just drilling one down the middle. And it reminded me of the season, I don't know, maybe 5-6 years ago that Crosby couldn't make a damn kick. And then it gets to like December and it's fucking blizzards and he's just making everything. So what do you think about this game, man? I know you're a big Tiger King guy. I think we all are pretty big on Tiger King, but I think you're kind of out front for us on the Tiger King. What'd you think of this game?
No, it was weird. You don't see kickers miss that many kicks in a row.
Some of them were pretty much
yeah, especially Mason Crosby too. I mean, the week before, I think it was the week before 2 weeks ago when he hit that game winner against San Fran. That next week Rodgers was praising Crosby and has all the confidence in the world in him and everything else, and I mean, yeah, rightfully so. I mean, he's been a good kicker his career, but then it was just strange. Both kickers on the teams missing 4 or 5 kicks there that whole entire game, and it was a weekend for kickers in general, missing extra points and field goals, kickers. And chip shots too that normally they would hit. So that was about the biggest thing for me out of that game is just the kickers missing so many field goals, and then the Bengals kicker celebrating after his kick that he thought he won the game with and ended up not winning the game, and then they lose. Other than that,
flag too. I don't think I've ever seen a kick hit the flag. Man.
Yeah, but other than that, Burrow and Chase. I mean, we see it again, another deep bomb. So,
Corey says Shanksville. Is that a real town? Shanksville. If it is, there's a population of 2 right now. McPherson and Crosby. Andy, what'd you think, man? What's the takeaway from the game?
I mean, we call this segment the not Justin Tucker. And I mean, really, it is.
It is.
It's just one of those weird things. I think we expect more out of Mason Crosby. He is 30, 37, 38 years old, something like that.
And McPherson's a rookie too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, I can tell you Greg Joseph wasn't missing field goals.
He actually made the weirdest weekend ever, man. Fucking Crosby's missing and Greg Joseph's making.
So, it's just great.
Yeah, I think this was kind of a coming out party, I think, for Joe Burrow. I think the nation really is going to have to take notice. I think the Bengals have been quietly one of the best teams in the league. Like, their defense is top 10 in DVOA. It's crazy. And
they've got a real roadblock coming up this week too.
But I mean, for them to go toe to toe with Aaron Rodgers, I think says a lot about that defense for sure.
Start Joe Mixon.
If you haven't caught on yet, Andy might be a fan of the team they're playing this week.
Yeah.
So I have this rule in weekly fantasy that you always start the running back playing against the Lions. I didn't do that this week. I was going to, and then
you got beat.
Dalvin Cook didn't play,
but Madison had.
So I didn't play Madison. I just went with a different lineup, and he didn't go bonkers, but I think he got 15 or 16 points. Like, he had a good week for a guy who's the 35th best running back in the NFL.
So here's another hint for weekly fantasy there. Start running backs against the Lions and quarterbacks against Washington. You'll win a lot. You'll win a lot. All right. Moving on to the game we just kind of alluded to, Vikings versus Lions. We're in the chat. Stove's going nuts, man. We're eating knees. We're kicking game-winning field goals.
I'm excited for Andy.
And then suddenly, with about 34 seconds left, Cousins gets the ball down the field and gets them in position. And we're all thinking, probably, at least I was, like, fucking no big deal. Greg Joseph's going to shank one. It's going to end up in the crowd. He ends up hitting it. Vikings win 19-17. I think one takeaway that I have from this, though, is that despite all of the issues in Detroit with mismanagement, the bad personnel, all of that, I have to say that Dan has them playing hard, right? Like, they haven't – and I know we're only 5 games into the season, but, like, I haven't seen the Lions quit in a game yet. So I have to say that's one thing that Dan's got going for him. And I thought that before the season. He's a player's coach. He was a former player, a hard-nosed guy. He was kind of a blocking tight end. I think he brings that mentality to that locker room. And I think that's what has gotten him to this position to get a head coaching job, working with Sean Payton and some of the other bigger coaches. He's a guy that brings that hard-nosed workman-like mentality. I'm going to save Andy. I'm going to save you for last on this one. Stove, any big thoughts on this game with the Vikings and Lions?
Other than Kirk Cousins sucks,
Okay. Well, Andy, what do you got?
I mean, to piggyback off of what you were saying about Campbell, fucking finally,
Brandon,
finally with a coach that seems to, be the guy of the future. It's been a long time for Detroit, but what the hell is with purple teams and their kickers and 19-17? Like, this is 2 times.
At least it wasn't a 66-yarder.
No, but I mean, it was a 54-yarder. Is bad enough. Like, I can't get over.
For Greg Joseph, that's like a 73-yarder.
I said that it's there's no substitute for talent, and Detroit is lacking talent, especially on the defensive side of the ball, especially in their secondary. Their 2 best corners are out now. They're losing. Guys are dropping like flies. They lost Quintez Cephas, the wide receiver, who's been their most productive wide receiver. So it just, 37 seconds left, and to let Minnesota, even get down into that position is one of the things you really got to clean up if you're the Lions. Man, that game kind of broke me. I thought that was. I haven't even been able to say that in a long time, like, because I just expect so little from Detroit. But like, at that point, like, they got down, they score. Campbell says fuck the tie. We're going for 2. I thought that was ballsy. They get the 2.
Yeah,
I was like, just take the fucking tie. Like, let's go to overtime. We've got some momentum. He's like, nah, we're going to win the game. And then to do all that and then to just come up short defensively again, because it's the same thing that happened with Baltimore. People talked with the Baltimore game of the way of game that wasn't called, and I agree. However, they still put themselves in a position to lose the football game, and they did it again, and it is what it is. But Dan Campbell, dude, brass balls, that guy.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I liked the hire. I thought his introductory press conference was a little bit much, but that's who Dan Campbell is, though.
Oh, it was meathead much, but he was crying last week. Like,
yeah.
It's crazy that he gives a shit. I mean, right. So
I think he's the perfect guy for that team, and I think it's starting to show the way they fight on the field and the way that he's trusting his team, knowing that their personnel is not that level, right? But going for 2, that's awesome. I love that stuff. I love it. All right, let's move on. Broncos Steelers, as I mentioned earlier, Broncos are starting to come back to earth. I'm probably going to be eating some crow on this unless we get a turnaround from the Broncos. That offense is just fucking miserable. The defense has shown that they're fine, right? They're what I expected the defense to be, but man, that fucking offense is terrible. I don't know what Fangio's got going on there, but he needs to figure something out. Offensive coordinator, something's not right there. They can't seem to move the ball. I'll admit they were 3-0, and I was kind of flying high on my preseason prediction that I thought the Broncos were going to be a playoff team, and that's certainly come back to earth, especially in a tough division. It's going to be tough for them to make the playoffs if they can't seem to beat these teams. And the Steelers, I can't even say they're really a good team. So, Flint, any thoughts on the Broncos, Steelers?
I mean, real quick, I think that the Steelers are a good enough team that if they get something out of Ben in the offense, which they did, they're going to be a tough out. They have a really good defense. So, yeah. When that offense is able to block, or the offensive line is able to block, and Ben's able to throw the football, I think he had 250 yards, a couple touchdowns. He only took 1 sack. That was, that's telling. That team's going to beat teams. I mean, they beat the Bills.
Yep.
So, Pittsburgh has the ability to beat a good team. They have the ability to lose to a bad team. That's just their identity.
Najee Harris has been better than I thought he was going to be with that awful offensive line. Stove, what are your thoughts?
No,
you want to shit on me a little more about the Broncos?
No,
I know you want to.
I told you last week or 2 weeks ago, I can't remember, that if the Broncos would start beating some better teams, I get on board with you, and I agree with you. The defense is good. They had against the Steelers there. I'm with Flint that if the offense gets something going there with Najee and with Ben and Claypool and Schuster, which Schuster's out now for the rest of the season. I thought Pittsburgh was going to win that game. I'm not totally sold on Denver like you have been, but they're showing me something as the season progresses. But really, I mean, not much from this game for me. But besides, Denver's offense is ridiculously bad right now. I think they need to find. I don't think Bridgewater's the right man for it. I think they need a clear quarterback in there that, they need to draft a quarterback this year.
Yeah, I don't think they see much in Locke. I was big on Locke when he came out of college. I think he's been kind of settled there. They don't have much talent on the outside either. Like Jerry Jeudy was supposed to be awesome, and he can't get open. He was such a great route runner in college. Cortland Sutton, same thing. He can't seem to get separation. So I think they're really putting their quarterbacks in a tough spot. And Teddy B's not a guy that's going to throw a team on his back and just win games. And that's what we're seeing from them.
Yeah.
I must have missed you putting Denver on a pedestal. That's,
Oh, he's been high on him.
That was a thing.
I haven't. I think their defense. I mean, I was going to ride their defense. I was going to ride that defense. That's where it's at for me.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Bucks blow out the Dolphins. I think big takeaway here: Tom Brady, 405 tutties. He's 47,000 years old and throwing 5 tutties in a game. That offense looks unstoppable. They're already off to a good start against the Eagles tonight. For me, it really is just about Brady just continues to show that he's fucking ageless. And we're going to be talking about Tom Brady in 2047 winning his 44th Super Bowl. So thoughts, Flint?
No, not really. I mean, just the David and Goliath.
Yeah, Dolphins ain't good.
No, and I say I don't really have much. But while we're on that subject of the Dolphins, what is with the defenses this year that were good?
Yeah.
I mean, the just a quick couple, the Dolphins, the Colts, the Redskins,
yeah,
and these guys, they can't stop shit. Any of them. It's ridiculous. Like, if you would have asked me, where those 3 defenses would have ranked after 5 weeks, I would have definitely said top 10 for all 3 of them, if not top 5. And I don't even know where they rank, but they suck.
I know Washington's 31st, so that tells you enough about them.
Damn.
Are they 31st?
So then Miami's got to be 32nd.
I think Miami might be 30th. I think Jacksonville's like 32nd or something.
And the Colts had, I don't know. The Colts first few weeks were tough. They had, they played some team. They played Seattle. They played the Rams in there. But just when you have a defense that's going to ring bells, you expect your defense to ring bells, and it's really, really just weird to me. I don't know. And that's the NFL's fickle. I mean,
it is. And it's regression to the mean, but these teams have gone past that, right? You're not regressing to the mean, being fucking 31st in the league after being 3rd last year.
Well, it's not like they lost 8 starters or anything. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's just weird.
Washington added to their defense.
Right. If nothing else, you had young guys who should have on all 3 defenses. I mean, really, you had guys who should have developed in offenses that probably should have been better to help support that defense, and it's not happening.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Washington's given up over 60% on fucking 3rd down. You can't be a good defense if you can't get off the fucking field.
Fucking
Corey, I think you're right. Brady did something, man. If it's sucking blood out of Gaga or whatever the fuck it is, Brady did it, and he's never gonna retire.
Oh God,
never gonna retire. Yeah, I don't know that Chase is really the problem, but I think that part of that is the problem, right? He got some endorsements this offseason, and sometimes that stuff can detract from where you want to go as a football team, for sure. All right. Yeah, next game, Saints, Washington. I mean, not much to say here. What I will say, if you want to see a microcosm that encapsulates the entire season for the Washington defense, right, and why they're 31st, just look at the last play of the first half, right? Winston throws a Hail Mary, and there are literally 7 red jerseys in the fucking – and not one jumps, not one challenges the ball. That is a microcosm of the season for Washington. I've run out of the ability to, get more angry at this team. Literally, I've reached my limits. That's if you ever want to know what my limit is, this is my fucking limit. 65% on 3rd downs, a Hail Mary at the end of the first half, and 7 defenders are in the end zone. Not one of them even jumps. Marquez Callaway comes down with it. Who the fuck is Marquez Callaway? Come on, guys.
Even beyond jumping, and I've said this before, with Detroit against an Aaron Rodgers Hail Mary, or not even just Detroit, other teams, when you allow a receiver to walk to their spot.
Yeah. And box out.
What are you doing? There were, you're right. There were several red jerseys around him, but there was space.
Right. Nobody
behind
wanted
and
to
in
challenge
front.
The ball, let alone challenge the receiver.
I'll never understand that in this day and age, how when a Hail Mary is going to happen, even if you don't know what's going to happen, I just don't understand how a Hail Mary works. I'll never get it. I understand why teams do it, but I don't know how it ever works, unless it's a tipped ball that goes to the guy who's not intended or whatever, who's not the original recipient. I don't get.
I think there's a little something to be said about the way Rodgers throws a Hail Mary, though. The way he throws it so high in the air, most guys can't do that from 50, 60 yards, right? You have to have the arm strength and be able to throw that ball. You probably practices it, whatever it is. But that ball that goes way up in the air, offensive players do have at least a subtle advantage on tracking the ball and attacking the ball, right? But Winston didn't do that Sunday, and
Sure,
a lot
but
of guys, most guys don't do that.
Once you've stopped, though, and it's 500,
right.
I feel like that advantage goes out the door.
I can't disagree with you.
And we've seen it. It's so weird. I don't
weird.
get it. Maybe Stove understands. I don't get it.
No,
Look,
it's almost going back to, you know, the playground in middle school, you know, and literally you just alluded to it. The game called 500, you know, I mean, you're just throwing it up there and hoping for the best, you know?
And Todd, I saw the Landon Collins comment, man. That's fucking so ignorant. Like, the ball's in the fucking air and there are 7 of you. I don't give a fuck if you saw that coming. Like, you didn't think they were going to throw a fucking Hail Mary. There's the ball's in the fucking air, man. They can play on it.
I was going to say, what about once you saw it?
Christ.
It wasn't like the ball got there
in like lame ass Ron Rivera. That's Ron Rivera level fucking excuse. Thanks,
that ball
you didn't tell me they were going to throw a Hail Mary. Thanks, Haskins. You fuck. Get the fuck out of here with that lame shit. Sorry, I wasn't going to get worked up over this, but now I am. Now I am. You fucking did it.
Thanks, Haskins.
Way to go, Haskins. You fuck.
You know, real quick, and we can move on to the next game, Gary. You alluded to nothing surprises you anymore. You can't get any more mad and all this, you know, with Washington. I could see it this week with you because of your Facebook posts. You didn't do the hashtag thanks Haskins as much as you have in previous weeks. I mean, I think you were in single digits this week.
I might have been. Like, I've just given up, right? Like, it's just at the point that there's nothing left to surprise me. It's 3rd and 17. I literally post before the play gets snapped. I say 3rd and 17, first down. And guess what fucking happens? Every time. Jesus,
yeah, but Brandon, to your point, that should always be the defensive goal, is to knock it down. There's no need to ever try to catch the ball.
No, not if you're on defense. No, it should always be knock it down, knock it straight down.
Knock it straight down. Yeah.
Yep.
And if we know that sitting here, I guarantee they've worked on it in practice at least once. So
yeah,
like,
unless you're the Jets.
It's an enigma.
Then you call cover 0.
I'll never understand how that play works. I don't. Yeah. Even with like a Kelvin Johnson or a Hopkins or somebody who just is you know, at the point of attack grabbing the ball. I mean, you're literally watching the goddamn thing in the air. Yeah. And I don't know, man.
I get it, man. Like you said,
it's
500, man. Just fucking knock it down for sure. All right. Anyway, yeah, fucking Haskins. Goddamn fucking Haskins for sure. Anyway, so Corey made a comment about Collinsworth. I want to save that for when we talk about the Bills game, right? Because there's constant complaining about Collinsworth, and like some of it's justified, and I do want to talk about that. So we're gonna earmark that. We're gonna come back to that, Corey. All right, moving on from the fucking shitty fucking Washington football team to the Eagles and the Panthers. The Panthers started the season off 3-0, and they're another team, you know, like Denver. They were 3-0, now they're 3-2. This game, I feel like this game is a bad loss for them because they were up early pretty big. I think at one point it was 12 points they were up, and they come back. You know, the Eagles storm back with 15 unanswered and make it a 21-18 victory for the Eagles in a game that they really probably didn't have any business winning, but it seemed like the Panthers shut down. And yeah, Gibson's been the one steady piece for us on offense. He had a down week last week, but he should be fine going forward. But anyway, the Panthers, they seem to just shut down, and the Eagles came back, and you can't do that in the NFL. Andy, any differing thoughts?
I was side-eyeing that game. I had it like on my tablet while I was watching the Lions game, and it was one of those things where like it was almost the same game as the Lions game for a bit. Like Carolina was just kind of, they were winning, but they were letting Philly stay in it, kind of like Minnesota was doing with Detroit. And before you knew it, Hurts made a few plays down the stretch, got close. Actually, Devonta Smith had a touchdown that was taken away on a pick in the end zone. That was horrible, I thought. I mean, the wide receiver's allowed to go next to a defensive back and stand there, first of all. I don't care how bad the collision is after that. But, Carolina's one of those teams where, like, I can't even be disappointed when they lose because, to me, they're not that talented of a team. Like, they've bought in, obviously, to the coaching. They play hard for their coach. The coaching staff is doing a good job. But without McCaffrey, them losing games, like, I can't even be upset about that.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, right? Like, that offense still tried to go through Chuba Hubbard a little bit, and I think that game right there is kind of a requiem for the difference between Christian McCaffrey and, like, everybody else in the league.
Yeah.
Mostly, I mean, Chuba Hubbard especially, but, like, Christian McCaffrey is just a different animal. He gets you out of problem situations, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, and the quarterback's got to check down. He makes 5 guys miss, and suddenly you've got a first down. Like, that's a skill that very few backs have ever had in the league, let alone currently have in the league. Stowe, what are your thoughts?
No, I'm with you with your first statement. They shut down. You know, they took the foot off the gas, and surprisingly, Hurts made some plays. Eagles made some plays down the road and got the job done. I think we all had Carolina maybe picked last week. Maybe
I think that was one we were unanimous.
I definitely picked Carolina.
Okay, yeah,
I know I did.
Yeah, I know I did too. So, yeah, it kind of shocked me.
Of Philly. When I pick them, they just bomb it.
Yeah. But also without McCaffrey back there, you know, the run game, the RPO, you know, with him out of the backfield too, everything just goes to the wayside. And so, but we have seen. I can't even think of his name right now. Quarterback for him, Darnold. Yeah, thank you. He's definitely stepped up. You know, definitely we're seeing the true Sam Darnold that everyone kind of expected to see coming out of college. And you hit it too, where they're buying into Matt Rule and everything else. So I think it's a good fit for Darnold, for Rule. They still. I mean, they're 3-2 right now. They still have a shot in that division, making playoffs and everything else. So don't count them out yet. The key is keeping McCaffrey healthy down the stretch.
Yeah.
So
there's no
please do.
There's no value you can put on having him healthy. Yeah.
For selfish reasons,
and Andy's got him in a league too.
Same league I have Russell Wilson. Please do. No, one other real quick thing is, like, Philly is another one of those teams that can be absolute shit bums.
Yeah. And then
sneak up on you,
but beat whoever they want too. Like they have like a weird, like the defense is some weeks. I think Darius Slay last week had 2 big interceptions.
Yep.
He had one where, like, his body, he had to completely twist back. I happened to catch it, and he was up, you know, at the pinnacle of his jump, and I was like, you know, I've seen that a few times when he was in Detroit, but like. Other weeks, like I've heard Philly fans complaining, like, when's Slay going to earn some of this money we gave him? And I think it's just such a dysfunctional team, but like they're not without talent. So when it comes together and it clicks, like they can hang with the best of them.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing we got to remember about Carolina too is they're only in year 2 of recovering from Ron Rivera, so they've got time. Be patient, Carolina fans. Be patient.
Fucking Riverboat.
The Riverboat. That fucking asshole. Anyway, moving on. Titans, Jaguars. Not a lot from this game. Probably the way we expected it to go. This wasn't them losing to the Jets. I've got 2 Derrick Henry takeaways. One, he scored 3 touchdowns, and he's still not fucking human, right? Like, that dude is an alien or something, like a Titan from, Greek mythology. But the other takeaway is, and I don't know how many people saw this, but Caleb Wagner is a running back for Baker High School in Florida. He's a junior, but he's got one arm, right? Well, he's got one hand, right? And his other arm, he's an amputee. It's cut off like halfway up the wrist. And he broke Derrick Henry's single game rushing record
I saw that.
in the state of Florida with 535 yards and 6 fucking tutties, bro. 535 yards. That's an insane passing game.
Yo, and parents from the other school were calling the next morning like, that's fucking bullying. You should have sat him.
Yeah, I didn't see the number of carries though, but I did see 535
That's
yards.
crazy.
And 6 tutties, bro.
Crazy.
Ooh, on the
good
ground,
for him.
man.
Good for him.
Absolutely.
And he got to meet Derrick Henry before the game. That was the last part. He got to meet Derrick Henry before the game. So
before the game?
Yeah, so Derrick met with him before the game.
That's fucking motivation.
No, not before his game, before the Jaguars game.
Okay.
They brought him to the stadium to meet with Derrick Henry after he broke the record. Derrick set aside some time, and the legend of King Henry goes far beyond the football field.
So Derrick Henry, the craziest stat in the world is the fact that not only does he lead the league in rushing yards, but then second place is him after contact.
After contact, and then
he has like 8 more yards than Nick Chubb does. But after contact.
After contact.
When I first saw that, I was like, "That's not true."
I had to share it. I saw that. It blew my fucking.
I was
mind,
like, "There's no way that's right." And then
I didn't think so. I thought it was a joke.
Different.
Actually, listen. I grabbed it to actually share it, and then I went and luckily I looked because sometimes I share yourself. And I was like, "No, I looked on the page because Gary had shared it."
Yeah,
and I was like, "Oh shit, it's so." Yeah, no,
that's it.
Dude,
that
for sure. Shit.
He's different. All right, Patriots Texans. This one was hairy for a long. I thought the Texans were going to knock off Billy B. In the Patriots had a little bit of a furious comeback late. Mac Jones was his first come from behind victory in the NFL, I believe. I don't think they've had one yet this year. He looked really gun shy early. Wasn't really moving the ball, and the Texans were just picking apart that New England defense. I really thought the defense was going to be New England's calling card this year because they got a lot of guys back that opted out for COVID and stuff like that. And of course, you got Bill Belichick. But this was a surprising result in how close it was and how much New England struggled with Houston. Stove, any real takeaways from this one?
No, other than I think I know I picked the Patriots last week, but. Really, I was really surprised that the Patriots came back and won there at down the stretch there. Texans kind of looked like they were in control for most of that game, and Mac Jones, like you said, he wasn't looking like himself, like he had been playing against Tampa Bay and some other good teams. And I'm not saying the Texans are a good team by any means. They really don't have a quarterback down there, in my opinion. I like Tyrod, but he's not a true number one in my opinion. But Mac Jones got done at the end, and so not much on this one for me.
I was ready to start the Davis Mills Hall of Fame petition at halftime.
Yo, and Daddy Longneck outplayed Mac Jones too.
He did, man.
I think one of the things is, or two things, you guys got to tell me to stop fucking picking the Texans because I've done it like twice, and it doesn't work. Also, I think one of the telling stats to me was like, when's the last time a young quarterback threw for over 10 yards on average and a QBR of over $140 against Belichick? Like that, those are things that just don't happen. So that's like a weird anomaly. Daddy Longneck.
Everything ain't bigger in Texas.
Looks like he was in one of those fucking African tribes where they
with the rings
and shit with the rings.
Yeah, he has an insanely long neck. It is crazy.
Oh yeah, dude. That dude. Good thing you can throw a football and he plays in the NFL, or else he would never get laid. There's no way. Fucking giraffe.
All right. On that mic drop, we'll move on to Bears Raiders. I was surprised by this result. I think the Raiders. I think the Raiders are really feeling the sting from the Gruden debacle, and yeah, That's that good shit. You know, and I think it carried over into this game. They're a fucking trash fire right now because of all that craziness with Gruden. Washington not only dragging themselves down, but dragging other people down with them. So. But yeah, I mean, not a lot of takeaways from this. I think we saw a team that's got a lot of turmoil. You guys got any thoughts?
I have nothing.
Nah, I'll just skip it.
Yeah, fuck this.
Fucking Raiders.
Oh, but wait, fuck the Bears. It's always going to be fuck the Bears.
Yeah, buddy. All right, and then you know, maybe the game of the week, kind of depending on your perspective. You know, I think for me it was the game of the week, and I wish it had been on TV. I had to kind of watch, you know, highlights here and there and catch game as it went. Chargers and Browns, 47-42, a game that, you know, I know at least I thought would be, you know, more of like a high 20s, low 30s game. Obviously, it got really crazy late. Herbert pulls it off, and, you know, I think both teams showed the reason why, you know, we were kind of split on this one, and why this game was a difficult one to choose, and why we probably, at least I think, consensus across the board, I think we consider both of these teams contenders in the AFC. You know, they showcased that. They had the defense early. It was pretty good defense, and then the quarterbacks got loose and really started to show off what they can do. A couple young quarterbacks dueling it out. Justin Herbert, you know, I think this is going to become a weekly thing for me. I have to admit, I missed really bad on him in the draft. I did not think he was going to play like this. He was mediocre at Oregon against mediocre competition. He has been unbelievable as a rookie and now a sophomore. I missed very badly on him. He's put himself in the conversation as probably one of the 4 best quarterbacks in the league. And I think he's going to be an MVP contender come season's end. Let's go to Andy first on this one.
You know, to me, the Browns are one of those teams that if you're going to get in a shootout, I think that's going to be their Achilles heel. Now, I'm not saying that it looked like their Achilles heel this week, because they still managed to score, you know, in fucking Sam's Choice cartloads. But like, they had the Sam's Club card, the big ass, the gallon jars of mayo and shit. You know, they had like, you can get like 50 pounds of pickles for like $4.99. But I feel like if you're the Browns, your comfort zone is to let Mayfield manage the game, run the ball with your 2 outstanding running backs, play defense. As for the Chargers, I don't think they want to play defense. They've got Mike Williams is looking like maybe the best fucking wide receiver in the league right now. Like, I mean,
the ball's in the air. He's coming down with it, man.
Hot take, but like, this guy is fucking amazing. This is the hype that he got coming out of Clemson.
Right. This is what I thought he could be. It took him 5 years to get there.
So I have a fantasy league where I have Mike Williams, I have Tyreek Hill, and I have DeAndre Hopkins, and Mike Williams is my most untradeable guy of those 3. So it's, you know,
it's clear there's some real chemistry.
Who could have said that coming into the season? And I'm glad he's one of those guys that, like, I wasn't going to leave a draft without. Like, I needed to get him. I kind of tied down onto him. But Austin Eckler's playing phenomenal football. Herbert, you know, I think the Herbert thing, what you were saying, was like one of those things where how many times are we going to praise an Oregon quarterback and then not have it work out? And now fucking Herbert's here, and he said, you know, fuck Burrow, fuck Tua, fuck Hurts. I'm the guy.
Yeah. He look, threw it on the table, man.
Go on eBay and try to buy one of his cards.
2 risks for my blood, baby.
Oh, absolutely.
Stove, what are your thoughts, man?
The Chargers defense on this one. You know, we've been talking about the Chargers defense being good this year so far, with Bosa, with help me out here.
Derwin James.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Injured last year. And it was surprising that Chubb went for 160 yards on that defense. Now, I mean, take no credit away from Chubb or anything like that, but it was shocking to me that the Chargers have been playing good defense against the rush up until that game, and then you had Chubb go for 161, I think 2 touchdowns, maybe, or maybe just a touchdown, and then Mayfield going for 300 yards passing and a couple scores. I picked the Chargers on that one. I didn't see it being a shootout like this, just because the Browns really haven't put it all together this year. And this game, they kind of put it together, except defensively, obviously. I mean, you had Herbert throw for almost 400 yards and 4 tutties, and then you had Eckler, rush for another 2. But they can score some points if need be. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of going back to me on Baker. Which Baker are you getting each game? So he came out to play. He didn't have any INTs last week, so he put his team in a position to win. Unfortunately, the defense, giving up 47 points. You're not going to win many ball games if you're giving up 47 points. Look at Kansas City.
And we had the rare shootout game that had 6 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
Which is fucking. This week was a whole enigma. I don't even understand what went on this entire week of football. A shootout, a 47-42 game with 6 rushing touchdowns. No, not that. No, not really.
No, Corey.
There's a slight resemblance. This is. No,
all right.
Because they're fucking both white and play football. They were doing that now. God damn it.
Yeah, Ryan. I think the Browns are
they're still contenders, like you said.
They're still in a position to win that division too.
50 on them for what?
Ryan, you taking the Browns over your Chiefs?
What are we putting 50 on?
Yeah, what are we putting 50 on, Ryan?
50.
My
bad.
50. Sorry, 50.
My bad.
50.
I fucked that up.
Yeah. I think Denzel Ward is. You can't lose a guy that's one of the handful best cover guys in the league. That's been pissing me off a little bit. Thanks for bringing that up and peeling that fucking scab back. I drafted Herbert and Keenan Allen for the stack, and fucking Keenan Allen's been doo-doo. Fucking should have gone Mike Williams.
It's that Mike Williams.
God damn.
Browns this weekend.
About time a Mike Williams balled.
Who they got this weekend? I forget who they play this weekend.
The Browns?
Cardinals.
Yeah. I'm with Trotnick on that.
I'll go with you on that one, Trotnick. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You taking the Cardinals?
I can't remember who I picked.
We already made our picks, but I did pick the Browns.
Did you?
Yep.
Yeah. Me too.
Listen, I would have picked the Cardinals if it would have been in Arizona. It's in Cleveland.
I think that's fair.
To me, it was such a close game.
All right.
In my mind, that I by default went to the home team. Cleveland can be as bad as the franchises they've been. Cleveland can be a tough place to play. So
they got the best offensive line in football. I think that showed this weekend against that Chargers front.
Well, the Midwest and the East got some rain coming this weekend too. So I was kind of thinking Arizona's not gonna love that. They see like 4 raindrops a month.
Yeah.
Maybe. No, probably not even a month.
Yeah.
We get an inch of rain a year.
All right, let's move on. Cowboys Giants. About how we expected it to end. All the injuries, though, for the Giants are crazy. I've got a couple of takeaways from this game that I'll highlight later in a later segment. But Dak looks the part this year. He's had a couple of games where, mainly the Chargers game where he didn't look real good. A couple of turnovers. And they were fortunate to come out of that game with a big win against a team that looks like a contender. But this is about what we expected to see Cowboys beating the Giants up. And just a reminder for Washington fans, like, this is how you're supposed to beat the Giants. They're fucking terrible. You're not supposed to beat them on a last-second fucking field goal. They're a fucking terrible team.
after a penalty to get you closer.
Precisely. You missed the fucking game winner, then you made it. Stove, what are your thoughts here as the Cowboys fan?
Giants suck. Cowboys rock. Next.
Flip, anything?
I really want to see Saquon Barkley be healthy. I really, for the life of me, do. I told you guys.
How unfortunate is that injury, though? After running a route, you just happen to step on a guy's foot.
And at least it's just a sprained ankle, and I can't even attribute that to
and it's a low ankle sprain, too.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like a softball. I've had that injury 12 times. He'll be okay. Kenny Galladay, I fucking told you. I told you all about Kenny Galladay. This is what he does. The dude's not available. Availability is your best ability. Kadarius Toney. This dude showed off what might be the most shifty fucking wide receiver I've ever fucking seen. Well, I'm taking it a little far, but this guy so good with the ball, and then so stupid in the head. I will never, ever, ever in my life get swinging at a guy with a helmet on. I've said this for years. Stop doing it. First of all, you're having a good game. What are you doing anyways? But why are you punching a guy with a helmet on, bro? And then I saw him in the thing afterwards. He looks like a mix between Alvin Kamara and Little Uzi Vert with that stupid fucking bull ring. I want to like the dude. I do, because I watched him with the ball and I was like, man, this guy's magic. This is fun football to watch. But then you show me that your IQ is 6 by swinging at a guy that has a goddamn 2-inch thick plastic fucking helmet on their head.
As Raul puts it, a room temperature IQ.
Yeah.
Dude, no, I don't even know if it's room.
It ain't even room temperature. It's more like refrigerator temperature.
That shit is like Niagara Falls in December.
Yeah, Corey, is Barkley the Carson Wentz of running backs here?
Oh man.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if you have a bad knee injury, that can cause other things such as
compensate
ankle or hip or even your back, things like that. I mean, yeah, hopefully not.
I hope not either. I
just want to see the guy be a stud.
Him and McCaffrey. I think the NFL is better when those two are healthy and playing.
This shit always happens, man.
It does.
This shit always happens. We can't just have.
Can't have nice things.
I mean, remember Jamal Charles was probably the most exciting running back for a few years, and just always hurt. Always hurt. He got hurt by the Lions mascot one year. Fuck.
He got hurt.
Tore his ACL.
He got hurt on the first down marker that they put on the plastic one that they put on the ground. That was the first time he tore his ACL.
Yeah, he
the
ran
second
into
time he
Rory.
tore his ACL is when he ran into Rory.
Rory the mascot tore his ACL.
He slipped on that fucking plastic first down marker and blew out his ACL.
Just bro.
Unfortunate. Some dudes are just lucky. Or unlucky, I mean.
Yeah.
Crazy. Crazy. All right. Moving on, 49ers Cardinals. This was kind of a knockdown, drag out. This was a different win for the Cardinals than we've seen in other games. They had, obviously that 49ers defense and that ground and pound offense. Trey Lance, though, for me at least, it's clear that he's not ready. And that's the reason that Kyle Shanahan continues to say Jimmy's our starting quarterback. I think the potential you can clearly see is there. Right, the dude is big, strong, fast. He's got an arm. He can throw a strawberry through a fucking battleship. He needs to figure out the game, right?
What the fuck was that?
Great analogy.
I mean, I like it, but I've never heard that before.
Strawberry through a battleship.
I have to give credit where credit's due, though. That is a line from the greatest athlete that's ever lived, Bo Jackson. He used that line in the documentary once, and it stuck in my head, and I throw it out as often as I fucking can fit it in because I love it.
Speaking of guys who are injury prone.
Yeah.
Imagine what could have been.
But yeah, so this game was kind of a showcase of the fact that Trey Lance is raw and he's not ready. The Cardinals 5-0, the only undefeated team left. I thought the Niners might be able to knock them off with that clock control and that defense, but Cardinals did enough to get the win and capitalized on some young play from Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Stowe, what are your thoughts? Anything here?
No, I thought it was going to be more of a shootout, to be honest with you, than the low scoring game that it was. I picked Arizona to win. I didn't see it being this close though.
Yeah.
And I agree with you with Trey Lance. I think the bright side, if you're a 49ers fan, is it was supposed to be that way. I think Trey Lance, of all of these quarterbacks that came in this year, was viewed as the biggest project, at least for the
ceiling up here,
but you're starting down here
right now.
The big five of the QBs from this year. I think we all knew Trey Lance was going, and San Fran knew this. I mean, I don't think it was any sort of secret.
That's why they didn't trade Jimmy in the offseason.
Right, he needed
teams were calling. It wasn't like teams didn't want to go get him.
And that's why they said, they said coming in, hey, we're going to use him every game. We're going to use him in packages,
get him some exposure.
And, and he scores touchdowns. And he does that. He's just not ready to be your every down quarterback. And that's fine. And also shout out to Arizona. I mean, 5-0, the only 5-0 team. And it hasn't been easy. It's been nothing like Denver's schedule of cupcakes.
We do tend to have a lot of dudes in very small confined spaces in the Navy. Yes, Corey.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Corey.
At least I wasn't a submariner, man. 100 sailors go down in a submarine and 50 couples come back.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We got two more games left in last week's games before we even get to this week's.
We're almost
an hour into it.
Listen, but Raul would have been like 10 minutes ago, like, we still have 7 games to go, guys. Fucking dad.
All right. Let's get to Bills Chiefs. This was the Josh Allen show. He's hurdling dudes, he's dropping dimes, he's rushing for touchdowns. The Bills look like the team that they've been building to beat the Chiefs. A couple of good safeties can play the back end, play some man coverage underneath, rush the passer. They drafted heavy on the defensive line, especially at the bookends this offseason. And I think they disrupted Mahomes. They were able to force him to be patient, and we know that he's not willing to be patient. And they kind of blew the Chiefs' brakes off. And Josh Allen looks like the MVP that we've been talking a lot that we thought he might be. Andy, let's go to you first.
Listen, man, I'm happy for the Bills. It's been a long fucking stretch without a capable quarterback. I mean, they just think about some of these guys. They reach on EJ Manuel from Florida State. Everybody kind of bitches about it. I was one of those people who was like, if that's the guy they want, that's the guy they want. Let him reach. And some people had reservations with Allen too. Kind of that big arm quarterback that people were really unsure about. I don't think a lot of people really suspected the crazy athleticism that he's bringing, but it's on show every fucking week. But they had JP Loserman and just like this team has been
Nathan Peterman throwing 6 picks and a half.
This team has been so cursed with bad quarterback play. And I think that's kind of one of those things where, like, you can look at some of the wide receivers they've had too that haven't been spectacular, but who wants to go play with these guys? So, I mean, they had an old T.O. in there. They had Eric Moulds back. Stevie Johnson was never a number one. The quarterback is so vital to your team. And to finally not only get a guy who looks like your franchise guy, but looks like, an NFL fucking staple for MVP runs, for the next 10 years, easy. It's got to be some relief. And believe me, I hear about it constantly. So I try not to tell them too much, but I'll let you guys know that. Kid's special. Glad I drafted him in fantasy. I have a rule. You don't take quarterbacks early. I took Allen in the 5th round in one of my leagues. Early. I didn't want to do it, but I did it. I think I told you I did that actually when I did it. And it's
paying off.
I thought I cursed him after the first couple weeks because I'm like, fuck, I always do this to quarterbacks, but he's getting me a steady 40 every week now.
Yeah,
solid.
Sure. Stove, what do you think?
It's the turnovers for Kansas City and that defense again.
Oh, who'd they play? Oh, I forgot who they played. The Bills.
Yeah. But the one you look at the stats, and you had Josh Allen. I think he threw for 300 yards, and 3 touchdowns, but he only threw the ball 26 times.
Yeah, that's efficiency.
Mahomes threw 54 times and had less yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 INTs. And who was the leading rusher for Kansas City last week? Mahomes. You're not going to win ball games. Not going to do it.
Yeah, you're definitely not. If Kansas City's leading rusher is Patrick Mahomes, you may win ball games. Now, Edwards-Helaire did go down, but all right.
I refuse to even talk about that team.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Monday night thriller.
Real quick, didn't we? Yeah. Did we clean sweep?
We could, yeah. All four of us.
Which I thought was crazy, being that it was an Arrowhead. But
yeah,
okay.
I was surprised.
Right, proceed on, sir.
Clean sweep, nailed it. Yeah, I think Brandon. I think the big thing about it is they've got 2 really good safeties in Buffalo, and they are willing to just play a cover 2 shell. Like, most teams are not willing to admit, like, we've got to get out of what we do normally, because the Bills don't normally play that cover 2. Hides in the box a lot, and this game he was out in center. Well, not center field, but they were playing left and right field cover 2, and that's the formula. We saw the Bucs do it in the Super Bowl, and now we've seen a couple of teams this year, the Chargers and now the Bills have done it to them. Play that cover 2. Force Mahomes to be patient, because he's not, and you're going to get some picks. You'll get some turnovers. He's not willing to just take what the defense gives him. He wants to take those chances.
That being said, I think they'll figure it out in the long run.
I don't doubt that.
They might ruin this season doing it, but I think Mahomes, like, we're already into the phase where, like, people are like, oh, Mahomes isn't that good and shit like that. No, you guys are.
That's a little bit of an overreaction.
That's straight crack rock. Like, you are Pookie. You're New Jack City Pookie smoking the fucking hot, like that. Stop. Like, he's too good. Hill's too good. Kelsey's too good. Andy Reid is too much of a genius. They will think it changes your dynamic when your defense can't stop anything.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
So they're going to be okay. And listen, they might figure it out too late into this season because the AFC is gotten good, but Kermit's going to be fine.
They'll be back. They just got to figure out how they're going to scheme against that cover 2.
Right. Stop disrespecting Irish Patty. I'm over it.
All right.
Corey, real quick. In 2 games against the Bills, Mahomes has a passer rating of 90.5 with almost 500 yards passing, 4 tutties, and 2 INTs. So
that AFC
and both those interceptions came last game, right?
Last week, yeah.
He was real good in that AFC Championship game, but he was real bad last night.
Yeah.
All right. Monday night thriller. Colts look like they've got this thing in the fucking bag, and then as Andy alluded to, man, that defense just falls apart. Lamar Jackson doesn't do it with his legs. They don't even get 100 yards after the week before running that weird play at the end to get 5 yards to get 43-game win streak. They had a chance to break the record. They tied the record against Denver. Lamar does it with his arm, which has always been the knock on him, that when they fall behind, he's done it twice now this year. Came back against the Chiefs. Now he's come back against the Colts in games that they were trailing pretty big. I think they were down at one point in this one by 16 or 18.
It was at least two tutties.
Yeah, I think
field goal.
I thought it was 16.
It might be 16, but
I can look.
Still a lot more than we would have thought for this team to come back from. And it's always been the knock on Lamar. Done it twice this year. It looks like he's kind of exercised those demons. While Andy's looking up that little tidbit, I'll pass it over to Stowe. What are your thoughts here? Is this Lamar turning a corner, or are we seeing the Colts and the Chiefs just not have good defenses, or a little bit of both?
I think we're starting to see Lamar kind of progress a little bit into more of a passer. The Colts defense, though, I think still sucks. Now, with that being said, they kept Baltimore to 3 points in the first half. So give them credit there. I'm not a big Carson Wentz fan at all. I think he's garbage. You know that, Gary. You just refuse to say it. And
he's garbage.
Yeah. But
there are a lot of worse quarterbacks in this league.
Yeah, like Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I'm joking. I'll put Kirk Cousins ahead of him there, but when I was,
But only him.
yeah, but when I was watching the game, I was seeing, and Wentz only missed 10 passes that whole game, but it must have been just when I was watching, because the passes that he missed, he was throwing high to all his receivers, and they weren't really even close. And for them to be winning at that point, good grief. Like, I was like, where the hell did the Baltimore Ravens go? Like, where is this team that, should be killing Indianapolis right now? But give credit to Lamar Jackson and his arm, and throwing for almost 450 yards. I mean, crazy.
Andy? It was 25-9, so it was 16. I feel like one thing that you can guarantee from Baltimore, besides the fact that you have to game plan for Lamar because he's just too fucking talented, is they're a well-coached team.
Oh yeah,
and they're under Harbaugh. They're going to be a well-coached team, and even if you win the game as an opposing team, you may get out-coached by Harbaugh. So that's one thing you always have to kind of pack in your lunch when you go in to play Baltimore. And Frank Reich and company, that fucking defense. Get the goddamn. I'm so sick of these fucking defenses that can't defend this year. Like, what the hell happened?
Yeah,
that's it, man. I don't know.
I think Stoves made it clear without saying it explicitly that he hates Carson Wentz. Todd Ray's right though. Calais Campbell's like 6'9", I think he is, and he's blocking that kick. But man, I don't know what was going on with Blankenship. Like, he was hurt. He didn't even go out for one of the kicks.
Nerd.
The punter was out there.
Was that? Yes, was this the game?
Yeah, the punter went out to kick, but then they called a timeout or a flag.
No, there was a flag. It was right before the first half, I believe.
And then Blankenship came on the field and then missed it. And
so the punter came out to kick the field goal, and everyone was like, "Why the hell is he out there kicking?"
They had like a wide receiver holding too.
Baltimore goes offsides. He misses the kick. Baltimore's offside, so they re-kick. Here comes Blankenship to kick it. They make it, and you could see Harbaugh's. You could read his lips. What the actual fuck?
Yeah,
it was crazy to see, and everyone was like, "What is going on here? Like, what is happening? Like, why is
they
this?"
Even speculated that he like lost his helmet.
Yeah,
and then they find out like he's dealing with something. Like Frank Reich was very cryptic about it. Such a weird kicker weekend. It was like somebody said. I think it was Andy said it earlier. Like, this weekend was fucking weird for kickers.
Yeah. Just weird. I think it was just a weird Sunday in general.
Yeah.
And Blankenship looks like he lived at the fucking the house with all the nerds in Revenge of the Nerds. Like this dude
with the big old fucking aviators on, man.
I can't. What was thigh lambda? Was that what the hell it was called? Some shit like that. I could see what's his name, fucking nerds. Like, dude, Rodrigo running, just fucking taking off with Booger. Remember Booger? Bro.
All right, well, that wraps up week 5. So I think we can move on to week 6. We'll try to get through these a little quicker. I'm going to try to be a little more forceful as we move along here.
It's a little easier when you don't have actual things to talk about. In hindsight.
All right, so Bucks Eagles. We're all on the Bucks. They're up 21-7. I think we can move on from that. The Bucks are the Bucks, right? So let's go to 9:30 a.m. The London game. The Queen is not happy. But it looks like Stowe's a little happy. The Dolphins over the Jags. You're sticking with the 0-17.
Yeah. Fuck Urban Meyer.
Look, I'm on the Jaguars only because of what Andy said earlier. Like, the Dolphins are fucking really bad.
I know. So, I don't care. I don't care right now.
Yeah, I flipped my hat. I literally flipped my hat in the living room earlier.
That's the right way to pick this fucking
Like,
shit
I don't
game.
Listen.
The queen doesn't even like Urban Meyer, so
Bro.
Dolphins.
You're pissing her off, and I'm telling you, don't
Putting
fuck
in a
with her.
paparazzi hit.
Listen,
baby.
if you get in the limo,
Yeah, you're not getting out.
All right. Next game in the slate. I was really surprised to see we're all on the Chargers. I think we're all starting to come around and respect the Chargers the way that they've shown on the field.
That's disrespectful as fuck.
Well, you picked the
Okay.
Chargers too.
I know, but I thought I kind of figured two of you would pick Baltimore. I think you're disrespectful. So we did this to the Chiefs last week, and it worked.
But it worked.
It worked. So
are you going to wear a Ravens shirt next week, Stove? Or
I mean, we can if we want to. I mean, I don't care.
I mean, we're not going to. I was wondering if you were going to.
I mean,
You got the Chiefs on tonight.
Did
Sure.
you forget?
Sure.
Okay.
No,
Yeah,
I know I have it on. I
It
mean,
just seems
I'm
not disrespectful as much as it just seems odd that we all picked.
I was
Sure.
surprised.
sure.
In probably what was almost a coin flip matchup, we all picked the away team. Which I guess it doesn't matter that they're on the road because they don't have any fans that come to their home games.
Home games and road games.
Unless they play like another team, then their fans show up.
Yeah, exactly.
So people traveling like
little
2,900 miles.
I think this says a lot about where we think the Chargers are as far as that defense and what Herbert's bringing to the table, especially. Ravens are a little nicked up. I think they're going to struggle to slow that offense down. We could see the Chargers get a little bit happy here on the Ravens defense for sure. All right, next slot. We're split on this. Me and Raul on the Vikings, and Andy and Stove over on the Panthers. This for me, I thought this was a game where I thought you guys were going to say like, which one are you going to pick? Because I've been a stand for both of these teams all season, right?
Which one are you going to pick?
No. Like we knew which one you were going to pick. Like it's no
but I've
brainer.
gotten shit for picking the Panthers all damn season.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
No,
When I
you're
picked them
not.
against the Cowboys, especially.
Yeah, because it's the Cowboys and they're the better team. But you're so far up on Matt
not
Rule's
the fucking
dick over
better.
there. I mean, shit. You've been a Rule fan since day one,
Get
Oh,
them.
I am a big Rule.
and a
I am
Kirk
absolutely
Cousins
big
fan.
Rule. I'm mad as fuck that they didn't hire Rule in Washington.
Well,
You
so
got fucking Ron.
for me, it boiled down to the Vikings didn't show me enough against the Lions to think that they, go into anybody else's house and win, especially a team who seems to be mildly impressive. So that was my thought. Again, it was almost another coin flip, but
Yeah.
they
Not
didn't
for
do
me.
enough last week.
No,
I mean,
not for me. It was a no-brainer here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Picking with his heart.
I mean, I just think Carolina is good enough that if they're in a situation where there's 37 seconds left, they're not going to let Minnesota get into striking distance.
Fucking ain't right. That's right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
All right. Next game on the slate, Packers-Bears. I don't think there's much to say about this. Ron and facing off against Justin Fields here. Packers should roll. Bengals, I think we feel the same way. They should probably not roll. Lions have been playing tough, but I think this is one clearly we all agree on.
Going into this 3-game stretch, I said to myself, hey, this is 3 games. The Bears, the Vikings, the Bengals. The Lions could go 3-0.
Yeah.
They have a really good shot. And, I also knew they could go 0-3. That's what's going to happen.
I'm sorry, bud.
No, it's okay. It really is. I'm not crying.
It hurt me to watch him lose last week. I promise you, just as much as it hurt you.
I mean, listen,
Especially
if you're going to
since it's
lose,
against the
just
Vikings.
lose the fucking right way. So as I say that, and I'm having all this turmoil, my beer also wouldn't open.
Oh, no.
Thing
No.
snapped. What a piece
Shotgun.
of shit.
Oh,
I can't
yeah.
even.
It's an IPA,
Well-
right? Fucking shotgun that, you'd be sleeping
No,
in
it's
5
an
minutes.
8 days a week. It's a good one, but
It's an 8 days.
we're gonna.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
We got it.
good.
Make it work. All right, Texans, Colts. We do have somebody who took the Texans.
And he's not even here.
He's
Come
not here to
on.
defend himself.
I don't even know why I picked the freaking Colts and Carson Wentz on this one. Fuck me.
I'm just glad it wasn't me this week to pick the Texans.
Yeah, right. Somebody else could be on that fucking island. All right,
Raul.
Rams Giants. Rams should roll. They should beat the Giants like you should beat the Giants. Chiefs, Washington, again, we've got an island and he's not here to defend himself. I don't know what the fuck he's thinking.
I don't know what he's thinking on this one either.
I wish you had taken a screenshot of my picks because I put the proper score down. They're going to win by 50. The Chiefs.
Is that what you
50.
did?
I wrote by 50.
I couldn't tell what you did.
Chiefs by 50.
I mean, I get what he did. Like he's seeing the Chiefs kind of falter. And he's like looking for his opportunity to look fucking smarter than the rest of us.
This ain't the week, bro.
Yeah, but what is he has nothing to lose on this though.
Washington is the get right game, man. Dude, if you're playing weekly fantasy,
hold up.
Holmes better be in your fucking lineup.
Hold up. Period. Brian Trotnick, no, I was not. I will go back to that fucking episode and I will show you I was not claiming it. Gary Freeze was.
I said,
shut your mouth.
15 quarterback, man.
Listen, unless Wentz throws 40 touchdowns this year, I got a $50 bet.
On what?
On what?
My buddy bet me $50.
Like with yourself?
Oh.
That Wentz would
he would throw 40?
He would throw 40?
Throw 40.
Dude, that's easy money.
This is
money.
Listen, this is a deranged Eagles fan.
Oh, an Eagles fan.
No, I'm not even gonna call him out. Gary, I will let you know who it is by saying he made a cool trade earlier in the keeper league.
Oh, Reckless is his middle name.
Reckless he likes to live dangerously.
He does live dangerously. He was watching earlier too.
Was he on here watching earlier?
He was watching earlier.
Listen, I tried to let him out of the bet one night a few weeks back
and he
by
refused?
saying, No, listen. Well, I wasn't just going to let him out of it. I said, listen, I'll let you out of it. What we're going to do is we're going to shotgun a beer. If you beat me, you're out. You're out of the bet. Scot-free. If I beat you, you have to shave all your facial hair into just like a pedo stash.
Oh.
So long story short is he's going to owe me $50 and
he's got a pedo stash.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
nice. Little, wife, little microwave. No, this was episode 1 when we were talking quarterbacks. When I said Belichick sucks, that was 2 episodes ago. So, yeah.
Yeah, so get off his dick.
Look, we love Stove and his emotional takes, especially.
Not you,
he
microwave.
Wears his heart on his sleeve.
In terms of get off his dick, I wasn't talking to microwave. Do the opposite. I got you, dude.
Got you, bud.
Good to have you back, bud. Good to have you back. Take on Jones. Him and Wentz were equal. Yeah, they're both equal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Equally shit.
Equally shit. Moving on to the next one.
Yes, sir. All right. So, Browns Cardinals. Another one I was surprised we were all on. I fully expected at least 1, if not 2.
We all picked the Browns?
Yeah, I thought we might be split on this one.
That's fucking disrespectful.
I think for me it came down to home team, and I think the Browns, that offensive line. I know, Andy, you already said that. Raul's not here to defend his pick, but Stove, what did it come down to for you with the Browns?
Offensive line and their running game.
Yeah. For sure.
Control that, kind of slice the tempo on Arizona a little bit. Yeah.
Now
I feel that.
Yeah.
Tyler can't hurt you if he's on the sideline.
I mean, I'm banking on the weather a little bit personally. I said that earlier. So,
yeah.
But that's going to play right into what Stove's saying. I mean, if you got the weather, you can
control the clock, control the line of scrimmage.
I mean, it always rains in fucking Ohio. Even if it's not raining, it's raining.
It's always sunny in Philadelphia, and it's always rainy in Ohio.
Yeah, absolutely. Or it looks like it is.
Yeah. It's dreary for some reason.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Let's go to this one. Gary, explain yourself.
The Raiders are in a bad way right now.
Not this game.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
they're coming out. Carl Nassib's going to come out, and he's
mad at Gruden for using the F word.
Yeah. Yep.
Give me the Broncos. I think they're going to score just enough. This is probably going to be like a 13-10 game. That Raiders offense has really lost touch with where they were earlier in the season. And the Broncos defense is above average. They're, a good defense against an offense that's really scuffling. Just give me the Broncos. And if the Raiders decide they're going to show up for the interim head coach, then I'll eat crow next week.
See, I agree with you because I disagree with you because I agree with you. See what I'm doing here? See, I agree with you that they're in a bad way in the offense, but I almost think that like the controversy is what's going to propel some sort of a spark. Like that was really my logic on the game.
For the Raiders, correct?
Correct. For the Raiders, yeah.
It could. And we've seen teams when they get interim head coaches too, the first few games they come out like fucking gangbusters.
Well, they got they might have new looks. We don't know what's going to happen. New motivation. I feel like the players are going to respond differently. I think, not only did they just lose their coach, but you're right, the offense has been lackluster. They've tripped over themselves, since that first 3 weeks. So I expect something different. And being that Denver's defense is great, but I don't trust the team. So you're wrong. So
moving on.
Little microwave. If Arizona can keep Cleveland's run game at hold, then Murray throwing the ball, running the ball, doing his little video game cheats and everything, definitely has a high shot at.
Nobody wants him on the field for more than 50% of the game, right?
No.
And truthfully, you don't want him on the field for more than probably 35 to 40% of the game, and that's what Cleveland's going to try to do with that offensive line, if they can. That's sort of why I picked them. Plus, they're home. That another factor. But if they can't control the clock, you don't want Murray on the field with fucking 12 chances in a game. You just don't. You want to limit his possessions to 9 or 10, and that's it.
That's that little motherfucker is magical, is why.
Yep.
Leprechaun DNA.
Elusive. All right, moving on. We're all on the Cowboys. The only thing that could maybe introduce a little bit of an X factor here would be the weather in New England. It gets sloppy there when it rains. We saw that with the Bucs game against the Patriots. Brady and the offense struggled a bit against that defense. But I think, all things considered, the Cowboys look like they're the team to beat in the NFC East, obviously, and they're trying to assert themselves as a team to be reckoned with in the NFC. This is a game they have to get to maintain that momentum that they've built.
We them boys.
Yeah. I don't imagine there's many counterpoints since we're all on the Cowboys.
No, I have nothing.
All right.
They're going to roll.
Next game. This one, again, Raul's not here to defend himself.
What was Raul doing this week?
I think he missed the memo that Russell's out for,
I think he's buying Geno stock, maybe. Nah, the Steelers should be just fine in this game.
If Geno beats that defense, holy shit.
Yeah. Wild. Yeah, Todd, I know the feeling, man. I hate giving praise to the Cowboys. It hurts my fucking soul.
We them boys.
Anyway, final game of the week. This one should be entertaining. We're all on the Bills. I sort of anticipated this as a potential. I think we're all buying right now on the Bills. But there is that X factor, man. The fucking alien on the other sideline with the fucking cone hair in the back. That guy can wreck games. He can change games. He can keep your offense off the field. Anybody here see any potential that Derrick Henry wrecks this game and the Titans knock off the Bills?
I saw a little
bit.
I always see potential that Derrick Henry can do that to anybody. However, my biggest thing is the health and the health of the rest of their offense. Their passing game, which was supposed to be rejuvenized this year, has been knocked down into the dirt. Tannehill's not having a great season. And to me, if Josh Allen and that Buffalo offense comes out and puts their stamp on the game early, there might not be anything a running back can do, even the best running back in the game. However, I need a Josh Norman clip. Put him in the dirt.
Stole his soul.
Yo, bro, there was a thing that popped up from the Backyard Sports page on my timeline the other
It was
day.
about
actually,
this time of the year.
like with Norman off the fucking planet, like in space
Off the planet.
from that. So
here's the only remaining question is, how many stores have sold out of folding tables in Tennessee? Because I know a lot of Bills Mafias travel.
well, I mean, they do. Also, it's only, I think, like a 13-hour run.
Yeah.
Roughly. And also, I don't think Tennessee's not one of those places where I feel like, oh, crazy fan base. So I actually know a dude from Hornell who lives in that area who goes to all the games.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they probably did sell out of folding tables. They don't. I don't know if they know to keep them stocked the right way though.
Yeah, right. You know, Buffalo's coming to town. You better.
They don't know
order
how to
fucking
take advantage of
surplus,
that.
man.
Like their
That's a
Walmarts down
cash
there
in
don't
week.
realize to have like the card tables out.
Right. That's a cash in week.
Like you should have fucking ordered. You know, your department manager should have ordered 300 of those last week. Get those bitches in. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, that wraps up our Week 6 preview.
Slightly faster than the recap.
Slightly faster than the recap. We did well there, boys.
We did.
All right. So let's move on to the most important part of the episode. 86, I believe, straight weeks now, or straight episodes. We've done this. Show's founded founded by veterans, and we want to pay our respects to fallen soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, sometimes airmen. Just kidding. That we've lost always too soon. So let's move on to our salute to service. All right, this week's episode, we're going to throw back a little bit. We've done a lot of Army lately. It unfortunately feels like we lose far too many Army, soldiers, especially in these operations. I wanted to switch gears a little bit and talk about someone from the Navy. Raul and I are Navy vets. So this episode goes out to Navy Commander Christopher E. Califat. He died October 24th, 2014. A little bit of a throwback here. Serving during Operation Enduring Freedom. One of the seasoned veterans of the military. He was aged 49, from Oceanside, California. He died at Al Udeid Air Base near Doha, Qatar, in a non-combat related incident. I feel like we've been talking a lot about non-combat related incidents lately. And unfortunately, it's the reality of things when you're, I've said it a lot, fight like you train like you fight. But Navy Commander Christopher Califat was assigned to Naval Amphibious Liaison Element, Combined Forces Air Component Center, U.S. Central Command. Commander Califat, we have the watch. And now we try to transition.
The segue.
All right. Well, I think we'll be able to bring the energy up a little bit. We had the Heisman stock last night that we were able to bring the energy up. So I think this next segment, Captain Facts, I think we're going to be able to bring the energy up a little bit and transition. All right.
Flint mode was going full drum rack.
Fucking Dave
Love
rolled
it.
that.
Love it.
Shit gets you amped up, man.
Oh. Cap
All right.
or facts?
Let's get it.
Damn.
All right. Cap or facts? The Chiefs' defense is really this bad. Let's start with Stove, since he's got the Chiefs shirt on.
Facts. Enough said. Too many points given up. 3 losses already. Facts.
Andy?
Facts. Fucking abysmal.
Abysmal. I'm with you. 3 facts across the board. I think, case in point, they can't get any pressure. They can't get off the field. And I think we're starting to see cascading effects of they paid all those offensive players. They have no talent on defense outside of, Honey Badger. And that's honestly, like, who else do you name? Chris Jones. They've moved to the outside for some reason. Bad. Chiefs defense, they really are that bad.
Yep.
Cap or facts? The 2021 season will be Russ Dickulous's last in Seattle. Let's start with Andy.
I think this is cap. Listen, I know it's the popular talking point right now with pretty much everyone. Maybe it's because I can't picture him in another uniform, but I'm going cap, man. I think Wilson is there for the long haul.
So
I'm going facts on this one. I thought at the beginning of the year, this would be his last one, just with everything that went on in the offseason. And now getting hurt. Still, they really haven't done much with the offensive line and building around him or anything else like that. Defensively, definitely not what they were with the Legion of Boom by any means, not even remotely close. And he's having to do it all. And I think he's going to get to a point, during his downtime right now in his rehab, to where he's going to reflect and see, he is the only one doing it. He could go elsewhere and have some offensive players, offensive line, not offensive players, because you got Metcalf and Lockett and everything, but have an offensive line and have a decent defense that you can win more ball games and not get banged up in the process.
So it's going to be hard to find a better deal
I know.
though.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, a week ago, I probably would have said this was facts, right? But I think my logic is I'm treating the injury differently than Stove is. I think this injury is going to open up Seattle's eyes to realize, like, how valuable Russ is to that team. And I think it's going to it's going to put the pressure on them, put the onus on them to start to give him some of the stuff he's asked for. Say in the team's decisions, maybe some personnel input, that sort of stuff. I think this injury and how bad I think Geno Smith's going to look is going to open their eyes to just what they have with Russ. So I'm going cap. Cap or facts? John Gruden is being singled out by all these emails. Let's start with Stove.
Right now, facts. You're going to sit there and tell me that going back to 2011, 10 years, and God knows how many emails went through.
650,000 emails.
650,000. That John Gruden is the only person to say anything. So definitely, and I don't know if it's just because he singled out Goodell and is it Demarius Smith, the NFLPA president?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because he singled out those two individuals in them. It's probably got to play a big factor in it, but facts.
Yeah, he committed the cardinal sin and insulted Raj.
Called him a cocksucker.
Yeah, he called him a fucking anti-football pussy. Anyway, Andy, cap or facts?
Dude, he is an anti-football pussy.
Yes, but you can't say it, I guess, when you're employed by his
I can.
organization.
So
Right, he ain't paying
anti-football
my
pussy.
bills.
And I really struggle with this one just because there is 630 or 50,000 fucking emails or whatever that, like, Washington and those goofs had to turn over. However, when I look at it from like a fucking broad point of view, I feel like, could Gruden, out of all those emails, is Gruden the only person involved to say shit about Goodell? There's no fucking way. This guy's a square, right? So maybe it's just, to me, I think he's just the tip of the iceberg. So no, I'm gonna say Cap. I don't think he's being singled out. I think he's just the
think
first
he's the sacrificial lamb, or do you think there's more to come?
I do. I think that's a really good way to. I think he's the appetizer. That's how I want to put that, because I don't think he's being singled out as much as I think he's just maybe the headliner. He's the big name. Like we're gonna start. We're gonna fucking cut the head off the snake here a little bit. Then we're going to move down. Dude, 600 and some odd thousand emails. There's no way he's the only one who feels that way about Goodell.
Yeah.
No fucking way. Everybody feels that way about Goodell.
Yeah.
So
it feels really weird that they even released anything, right? Like, that's the one thing I can't seem to wrap my head around is, why did the NFL release any of this? Because these are court-ordered emails as part of the NFL's investigation.
Right.
These do not have to go public. This was there's two different types of legal, and I fucking forget the terms, but like, these didn't have to go public. So that's what sort of confuses me. Is
it's a case of where somebody else was probably like, listen,
yeah, probably
do the right thing here, or else
probably
we're going to go public, and then it's going to make it look like you were covering shit up, which is 10 times worse. So let's just get Gruden out of there. People don't like him anyways. I mean, he's really easy. It's really easy to believe somebody like John Gruden would be like a bad person, I think, too. So like that's another reason why it's probably easy to start with him.
Yeah.
Because the dude's kind of a dick. So, where do you start? I mean,
yeah,
you don't start with the choir boy.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm Cap. I think there was a reason he was chosen, and it might be because of the choices of words, and they could get it out there like, we're not okay with this stuff, so we're releasing this, and Gruden's going to be walked out the door, that sort of thing. But I still have the question of, like, you did this investigation a year ago. Why now? Why a year later are you suddenly going to say, like, oh, we're this fucking crusading organization that we don't deal with this hate and intolerance? Like, it's kind of your fucking staple for the last 30 goddamn years, right? Like, you cover this shit up. You fucked the Ray Rice situation away. You didn't care about domestic violence. You didn't care about Greg Hardy fucking beating his woman to within an inch of her life, throwing her on a fucking futon.
You didn't care about player safety.
You don't care about player. You still don't care about player
safety. You still
safety.
don't care.
You want to appear as if you care.
Exactly. It's all about appearances. So I think I don't think Gruden was singled out. I think this was the easiest, as Flint put it, right? This was the easiest tip of the iceberg to show, the easiest sampler platter to give somebody to say, this is what happened. This is why we're going to force him out the door. I'm Cap for that reason.
See, the NFL is like a line from the movie The Departed, where one scene, Martin Sheen asks Leonardo DiCaprio's character, do you want to be a cop or do you want to appear to be a cop? And the NFL is like the fucking epitome of that. Like, do you want to care about players? Do you want to
appear to be the good guy?
Care about, women? Do you want to care about
minorities,
this and that? Or do you want to appear as if you care about that? And that's the answer is
yep.
the latter. They want to appear.
Yep. All right. Cap or facts? The NFL/Raj are not being forthcoming with everything they've found so far in the Washington emails. I think we've already sort of alluded to this, but I do want to hear thoughts in terms of how bad, like, to go beyond the cap or facts. I want to hear how bad you guys think it could be. Let's start with Andy on this one.
It's facts and it's horrible. And the problem is even if we know a bunch of horrible things, we'll never even know the worst of it. It's like it's like when you like catch your spouse cheating on you or something, and they admit to things, like no matter how bad what they've admitted to sounds like, it's fucking way worse. And that's what this is going to be.
Yep. Stove?
Definitely facts. And yeah, I'm with you, Andy. It's going to get worse. I think you're going to have so many more coaches, former coaches, GMs on here, maybe some owners as well, that are going to get dragged into this. And I won't say it. I won't go there right now. But
Get Jerry.
yeah, yeah. That's where I was going. You know, someone put on Facebook the other day, you know, Jerry Jones has the, you know, wrote Django, or, you know,
yeah, he has the script to Django.
Yes,
in his
somebody said his email looks like the script for Django.
I mean,
We're laughing, but it's true.
It's so true.
But I mean, man, it'd be I mean, I don't know if it'll be interesting to see who all's involved, or, you know, how deep it goes, you know, and to what extent. But man, yeah, and NFL is just cover up, like you said, Andy. Yeah.
It all is, though. Like, I mean, look at Donald Sterling, you know, in the NBA years back. And listen, the guy was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But like, there's no way that was it.
Right.
No.
Right.
No.
The problem is, in you know, maybe like Gruden with Goodell, is if when you fuck with the institution, they cut your head off.
Yep.
So like, if you buck the system, you rock the boat. Like, that's because you can get away with it because this is what they're doing. Like this, the reality of the situation is the majority of like the 1%ers in this fucking world are shit people. I mean, you know, not every single one of them, but
most.
A
pretty solid percentage of them.
Most of them are. So, you know, there's going to be some weird shit that goes on, and we'll see. Hopefully, more comes to light. Fucking boy, Dan Snyder.
Yeah, it's facts, and I think honestly, by the end of this, Dan's going to lose the team. Honestly, I do think that.
You're going to be heartbroken.
I'm going to be fucking torn up, bro. I'm not going to be able to recover financially or emotionally. But I mean that with all sincerity. I think this whole thing, if they released this with a purpose of whatever that purpose was, I don't think they realized just how bad the fucking the kind of like keyboard mafia can be, right? Like, they're going to get calls and texts and social media and all this shit is going to call for this. Like, you have to release all these emails. There's people in the NFLPA saying we need to release all 32 NFL teams, right? Nobody fucking wants that in the NFL. I can tell you that right now. Because if this is the shit that goes on in Washington, I can only imagine the exponential effects of having all 32 teams have their shit leaked. It's not going to happen either, but like this could get
especially coming off of, you know, a few down years as far as viewership goes. This is the highest viewership season in a while for them. And so now, you know, to your point there, they're not going to release those all at once, or, you know, like you said, if they do that, they're going to lose a lot of fan base, and that viewership, sponsorships, everything. They're going to lose a ton of money.
This was
unfortunately,
strategy.
Depending on how racially insensitive some of the stuff is, they might gain back some viewership too.
That's true. They might get some of the Southern boys back.
You get some of that fucking. I don't watch the NFL.
I don't watch it.
Worst halftime show of all time.
Yeah,
those
but
guys.
I think the one thing that like is gonna really get really bad about this is the fact that They sent Gruden topless photos of the cheerleaders, and that was what started this whole investigation. They're about to get like distribution of like lewd like there's like federal crimes that they violated doing that shit. Right. Like,
why did they send him to Gruden?
Because Bruce and Gruden have always been tight, and Bruce sent it to him, and Bruce was connected with Dan and got these photos.
Definitely sent him to other people.
Oh, for sure. That shit's all over the NFL.
Yes.
And I wouldn't be surprised if all 32 teams, or at least a good number of the teams, have similar sort of things that they do with the fucking dancers, the cheerleaders, man. They are just, that's what the 1% fucking does, man. It's like Epstein Island, but in 32 different NFL cities. Well, 30 NFL cities. But it's just, that's just what they fucking do. They're grimy. They're disgusting. That's how they fucking exert power over people. It's what they do. You said it, Andy. It's what the 1% fucking does. It's going to get ugly.
In power.
And I honestly think that the true, I believe fully that Dan's going to lose the team over this. All right, let's move on. We kind of beat that up. I believe that was our last Cap Facts, right?
It was.
Yeah. So we are moving on to hashtag Thanks Haskins.
Hey. Fucking riverboat, dude.
Riverboat. All right, I'll go ahead and kick off here. Andy kind of stole a little bit of my thunder earlier with some of the Kadarius Toney talk, but I'm double dipping on the Giants this week. I'm going to get away from Washington for once. I think I've had 2 weeks that I've done it, and we've only done this thing for 3. So,
man,
but
forward to it too.
yeah. So Kadarius Toney, I'm going to double dip here, man. Daniel Jones goes down with a really, really bad concussion. And Kadarius Toney comes over and slaps the dude on the helmet and headbutts him. What are you doing? The dude just got knocked out worse than fucking Tyson Fury knocked out Deontay Wilder. Stumbling on the field. I'm surprised he didn't throw up on himself. Couldn't walk. His legs fucking buckled numerous times. Like, had to be carted off the field. That's how bad he was knocked out. You're over there slapping him on the fucking helmet and headbutting him. And then you follow that up with the boneheaded play Andy brought up earlier. Punching a dude who's got a fucking helmet on. That ends in exactly one way. He doesn't give a shit. It doesn't hurt him because he's got a fucking helmet on. And you're ejected and you might have a broken hand. Like, that's so dumb. Hashtag thanks Haskins, because clearly Dwayne put him up to it. All right. Let's go over to Stove here.
My thing for this week is the kickers. We've seen so many missed kicks up until this last weekend, and then we just saw an enormous amount again. And 5 in one game. You have one fucking job. That is to kick the ball that has no stripes. Okay? For looking.
Or Chase let us know that.
Okay? Has no stripes. You are to kick it through and upright. You practice this almost on a daily basis. Do your job. Get it done. Thanks, Haskins.
Love it. Love it. That was so good. Fucking kickers, man. Fucking kickers.
Fucking Haskins.
All right, Andy. This is the first time I think you're doing it. No,
yeah.
You did Thanks Haskins before. This will be the first week for your segment.
Right. I did the first week of Thank Haskins. So since I'm catching up here, I'm going to combine this past week with the week before. I'm fucking looking at you, sunshine. Jared Goff officially has 4 lost turnovers in the past 2 weeks. 2 last week, 2 the week before. 3 of which were in the red zone. The other one was inside the 30, so in scoring distance. One was the most egregious 2 weeks ago fumble I've seen since the butt fumble, where the ball was snapped into his chest and then flew back across the line of scrimmage into the defender's hand. Yeah. Fuck you, Jared Goff. You suck. Thanks, Haskins.
Yes.
Ryan Gosling.
Fucking goddamn Jared Goff. All right. Let's move on. This is a segment we debuted a couple of weeks ago, but this segment was Andy's idea in terms of the hashtag. We as we introduced it, we talk a lot about Kay Adams, and he had the genius idea of we talk a lot about shitty shit with Thanks Haskins. Let's talk about some good with K. So, since you're here, let's start with Andy.
There's a high probability here that we might be stepping on each other's toes, so I hope people have backups. One Lamar Jackson, the man, the myth, the running back, who threw for 442 yards with 4 touchdowns and 140 rating.
Yeah, buddy.
This dude just shut the haters up. And it was beautiful. Like, if you watch the game, like, even if you don't like Lamar Jackson, even if you're one of those guys that says, hey, Lamar Jackson's a running back, fun to watch play. Nobody dislikes watching Lamar Jackson play. And if you do, you don't like football. It was sexy. Damn, K, damn. That's well Messy done. Bun with the glasses, K, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Way to come out of the gate firing.
Nice.
All right, Stove, what you got, buddy?
Well, I was going to go with Lamar there as well, but since you went ahead and took him, I will go Mr. Tom Brady down there in Tampa for lighting it up against the Dolphins. 411 yards passing, 5 tutties at the age of 44. Damn, K.
The Thanos glove.
The
gauntlet, baby.
Well done. Well done. Now I'm going to stick in quarterback land. I'm going Josh Allen. I thought about Tom Brady. I thought about Lamar Jackson, but I'm going Josh Allen. I had some backup plans. So, and I'm going to single out one play. I think we talked enough about what he did during that game. I'm singling that hurdle out, man. A 6'5" quarterback hurdling a fucking defender, making him look silly, getting the first down on top of it, just getting across the first down marker. Dude, soaring over the defender. Beautiful play. Well done, Josh Allen. Damn, K.
Yo, and if that's my quarterback, don't fucking do that again.
Yeah, right.
Don't fucking do that again.
Don't do it. Slide.
Yeah, that's true.
Stop that
shit. He
wanted
wanted to beat Kansas City so bad.
Dude, I love. Listen, there's not a single week when a Bills game's on, if I watch, where I don't hate something Josh Allen does. Because, dude,
he's the alpha dog, man. He can't help himself.
I get it, man. But I'm like, yo, if I'm a Bills fan, I'm gonna be real fucking upset when you're in a wheelchair.
Yeah, there's a Bills fan. Yes, sir. Josh Allen. Yeah, man, it's fun to watch him, but yeah, there are some times where you're like, just slide or something, get out of bounds.
Actually, Rodgers gave Burrow that advice this week.
After the game. Know when the play's over.
Fucking slide, bud.
Slide.
Know when the play's over.
Yeah, when he got hit,
dude.
I thought
he was going to be done for the game. Maybe a couple weeks.
And I think a lot of these QBs, especially the really fucking good ones or the really athletic ones, you've dominated. You're a man
the best
amongst
athlete
boys
on the field by a long shot
for
all the way to the
several
NFL.
Years of your life. Yeah. Now you get to the NFL and it's not a fucking joke.
Yeah, you're one amongst everyone.
Yeah, you're everybody's good. You're gonna get fucked up.
Yep.
And everybody's bigger, faster, stronger. And especially with the dangerous part is when you're a quarterback that's become a runner.
There's not
those defensive guys. They want to fuck you up. That to me,
they're waiting for you not to slide.
And in a case of Josh Allen, when you do something like he did, hurdling the QB. If I'm a defensive player, the next time you come out of that pocket, I want to lick you.
I'm going high.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I want to fucking end your night.
Yep. Yeah, it's a dangerous game. It's a dangerous way to, kind of toe that line. But man, I tell you, especially in hindsight, right? I have the the luxury of I know he didn't get hurt, right? So now it's just a beautiful play.
Well, to me, it's like keep doing it, but fucking stop doing it. Because I want to watch it happen, but at the same time, like when your neck gets broken, like I'm gonna be like, I fucking told you.
I want to see you in February, man.
Yeah.
Eesh. All right. Well, I think that wraps up our agenda for the week. Let me double check and make sure. Yeah, I think we're good. So, we're just about at the 2 hour mark.
We finished just under 2 hours. Word to Raul.
Just under 2 hours. We made it. We made it. It didn't look good. Didn't look good after the week 5 review, but we powered through.
Yeah, we got to figure out that review.
Yeah, we set the agendas.
We did the review. Okay, so we did the rest of the show in about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
The review.
I think there's more to talk about with the review, though.
Maybe there is, but
we need to be more judicious.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's
at any rate,
it's like a bad contract. It's fucking Jared Goff. Holy shit.
At any rate, I want to thank Big Stove and Andy and everybody who joined the show. You know, Ryan, Amy, my dad, Todd, Corey, especially all the comments early. Little microwave for joining the fun. You know, Burley got in a little early, and I hope I'm not forgetting anybody, but appreciate everybody in the comment section. Appreciate you, Big Stove. Appreciate you, Flint Mode. For the guys at Backyard Sports, and we miss Raul this week, but we should have him back in subsequent weeks. That is the conclusion of our episode. We are out.